People think the spiritual journey is just all love and light and unicorns and sparkly things. I feel that there is an entrapment taking place. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis, and I want to start by giving you guys a massive apology for yesterday going off on a complete tangent, a beautiful tangent at that, around obviously my new relationship that I am in. So we didn't actually get to talk about false prophets and be careful what you are meddling with. So that, ladies and gents, is what this video today is going to be all about. Now, before we step into that, I just wanted to remind you that we have got the Soul School launch call on Thursday this week, which is the 7th of December. And on that call, we will be announcing all the ins and outs, the way that it's going to work, what's going to be included in the price, and all sorts of things like that. Now, remember, this is a 2-day event. So for those of you that came to the 1-day event in Birmingham and have had catastrophic shifts, just multiply that by 2 and imagine what is possible for you. We are in such a beautiful period of time right now, ladies and gents. I cannot say to you, things are moving very, very quickly. Stuff is coming up to the surface for us to do the healing work and really step through. And this is, as always, creating a lot of polarity on the planet. What I mean by that is where there is light, there is dark. Where there is happiness, there is sadness. And you can literally see the polar world that is taking place at the moment. All you need to do is probably scroll maybe 4 or 5 posts on social media and you would have had something really, really treacherous and really, really positive all in just those handful of posts. So that is what I'm talking about right now. Now, this topic is very dear to my heart because over the last couple of years, I guess I have unknowingly called in a lot of situations because I am the girl and I own it and I am really surrendering to this because I don't want to do it anymore. I am the girl that kind of needs to live it to believe it. I need to see it to actually appreciate it. And I've had a few situations over the last couple of years that have come in to truly, truly test me, test my path, test my loyalty to what I'm doing. And also, you know, try and manipulate my ego and lure me down certain paths. And ladies and gents, there are many, many, many people on this planet that are what I call false prophets. There are many people on this path that look like the beautiful, shiny object, yet they are there to distract and disrupt. Now, I'm not saying these people are bad. What I'm saying is that these people have been beautifully placed in and around the rest of us because of this polarity, because unless you know what feeling hate is, you're not going to know what love is and things like this. So we need to be manipulated through our lives, believe it or not. And we all signed up for this before we incarnated. Because we're all a bunch of Looney Tunes, you know, I openly admit it, like why I put my hand up to come down here and get involved in this mission this lifetime, I don't know. There are days when I'm like, yes, I know why I did it. And then there are days where I'm like, why? Why, oh, why, oh, why? And 2023 has very much been a year of me going, what on earth did I pull this experience in for? Why on earth would I have thought that this would be a good idea? But I must have done on some level for me to be experiencing it. So I embrace that and I allow myself to feel that. And I look very much at the lessons that I have had to learn with this. Now, I met somebody a few years ago now, and I was very, very, very inspired by the work that they were doing. It was almost like they were doing the same stuff that I was doing, but just in a different location. And I was inspired by this person. And what actually happened over the course of, I guess, me getting to know them is I realized that they were a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing. What they were saying outwardly was not what they were inwardly. They were kind of like saying things that people needed to do on the outside, but behind closed doors, they weren't walking their talk, that kind of thing. And I'm very much about authenticity. I'm very much about like allowing people to be whatever it is. Now, if you are a moody, you know, victim mode person and that is truly authentic to you, then good for you. Be it. It's up to me then to choose whether I hang around you or not. But it's these wolves in sheep's clothing. It's these people out there that are projecting that they're one thing, but behind closed doors, they're doing something completely different. These are the ones that are really sent to try us, to heal us, for us to learn lessons, for us to come back online with our remembrance and our discernment. You know, this is very much what this is about. So false prophets can show up in many, many ways. There are people out there, and you know, I'm probably going to trigger a few people by saying this, but there is a lot of, you know, religions out there that are leading their people. They believe they're leading their people to, you know, a much more beautiful life, and with all these promises, but in actuality, it's not actually what it boils down to. But people don't know. They're so immersed and they're so trusting and they so want those things for themselves that they go all in. I don't believe that they're bad people. I don't believe that they're bad people. I believe that we were all on our path. We all came down here to learn our lessons. However, we do need to have the remembrance that there are people that are doing this stuff on the planet, and we need to trust ourselves. Now, like I say, we are here to learn our lessons. You know, we are going to get in relationships that are going to break our hearts, because we need to remember what that feels like, so that when true love comes along, or when authentic love comes along, we know what that feels like. You know, we need to know what not communicating is like, so that when we do get communication, we're like, oh, this is how it is supposed to be. This is how it's meant to feel. Now, I'm just going to take a little tangent, but bear with me because it's still on the same subject. There are a lot of people out there at the moment. I am having numbers and numbers of people coming to me around going to do some energy work, whether that's a sound bath, whether that's a particular meditation, whether that's a healing session or whatever. And once they've been through that process, they feel very, very, very different. And I'm not talking necessarily in a positive way. Now, sometimes people feel great for a week and then all of a sudden their life starts to fall apart and all the rest of it. And this is the other element of what I am banding, you know, on this video today with false prophets, is be careful what you're meddling with. I feel that there is an entrapment taking place right now, and people are literally willing to do anything for the spiritual journey. And I believe that there is a lot of corruption in what we're calling the spiritual movement, a bit how I've spoken out about, you know, the truth side of things, you know, holding us back now. Like, I truly believe there was a purpose for that, and there was a surge of awakening off the back of it. But now I don't believe it's actually helping us step forwards. I actually do believe that it's holding us back. We're blaming all these things and all these people when that shouldn't be the case. We should be saying, you know what, I made my choice so that I didn't have to experience that. I did this because I didn't have to experience that. But that means they obviously needed to experience it that lifetime, rather than this victim mode that we're kind of like being bred to step into right now. And this other side of being careful of what you're meddling with, like, I've been sent videos of people recently in the last week whereby they're going to places and they're working with energy, and it's obvious, very obvious, that they have no idea what they're meddling with. People think the spiritual journey is just all love and light and unicorns and sparkly things. Like, it's not. There are many, many energies that are working through people that we know and love, and leading them astray, manipulating their energies. The person that I was talking about earlier, like, very quickly, I realized that their energy field had been seriously manipulated. I'm really sensitive to this stuff. You guys probably know, having watched my videos, I'm very, very sensitive to this stuff. And, you know, I can feel instantly when something even just feels like a millimeter off. I can feel when, you know, something, you know, the energy just feels quite heavy or something like that. And I knew very early on that this person, you know, had something that was manipulating their energy field. So I stepped away. But then what happened over the course of, you know, maybe like 6 months later, when they kind of got the memo that I'd stepped away, and I, you know, all of a sudden I was target number one. I was number one on their hit list. They wanted to take me down. They wanted to name me. They wanted to shame me. They wanted to put my, you know, my reputation on the line. And what's fascinating about it, I just stepped back and let them carry on with it. Because for me personally, I know that my light irritates people. I know that my light irritates the demons within people. And if anybody has sold their soul to be manipulated, if anybody is on that path, you know, because I'm just like you guys, I mess up all the time. I let people in my life that I really shouldn't let in, because I see the best in people. Like, Lucy Davis Human sees the best in people, and the soul that is within me. Oh my God, she is so loving. She truly wants to help everybody. She's a real little fixer. So there's no judgment for this, ladies and gents. But I feel the way that these people are being manipulated is via their ego. So there's a promise of money. There is a promise of a greater spiritual connection. And this is the one that is being manipulated the most at the moment. People want that thing. They want to be like that person over there. They want to have the connection. They want to have the journey. They want to have the business. But the way that they've created their business is through the connection, so that they basically want to go after that. And this is the easiest way for a lower vibrational energy to get involved. So if you're doing clearings, or if you're doing energy work on other people, like, you can be very easily manipulated. You can be very, very, very easily manipulated, because unless you are coming from pure divine love, there is always something that we are lacking. There is always something that we are looking for. There is always something that we want. And this is how the manipulation takes place. This is how the darker, the lower vibrations can manipulate our energy. And I don't believe that anybody's doing it intentionally. I had a lady reach out to me, and I started saying this on the video yesterday, but I had a lady reach out to me just a couple of weeks ago, maybe. And she said to me, this situation is happening in my family, Lucy, and I really need help. And I said, okay, right, let me look at your energy field. Like, let me just check out what's going on. Let me see what what intuitively I get, or what downloads I get. And I could see that something that she had been working with was not of the light. I didn't know what she'd been doing. Like, I don't know what people do. I don't really pay attention to social media. I use social media for myself, but I don't really go looking for people, or it's just not me. I don't have the time to do that. And so I didn't know what she had been doing. Anyway, when I said to her, look, what have you been getting involved in recently? I feel as if you've got involved in something which isn't of the light. When she explained it to me, and bless her heart, she was freaking mortified, absolutely mortified, when I had to have the conversation with her about it, because it was from the goodness of her heart. Like, this lady is such a beautiful, sweet soul, which is why they went to her, because she wanted a better connection, not realizing that the only way to get a better connection is from self-love. Not realizing that the only way to get a better connection is by being still and going inwards. She genuinely thought, well, if I do this, I'm going to get a better connection. If I do this, I'm going to be more successful. And the darkness was able to manipulate her based on a thread of ego in her ego mind that thought that she wasn't good enough. So last week, I had to go in and do the work on this lady to remove the energy that had been working through her. And my God, was it hideous. I completely underestimated it. Thankfully, I had some of my team working with me to look after me, protect me. And my gorgeous man held space for me whilst I did this. And, it was wild what went on. Absolutely wild what went on. I came out literally in sweats. I was panicking. I had all of this stuff. Literally, I was like, wow, I need you guys to look after me, bring me down, get me grounded, protect me and whatever. And then a few days later, I was doing a little bit more work to assist the same lady. And when I came around from the meditation that I'd been doing to do the work, I opened my eyes, and literally the window was over there at my mum's house, and this energy swept up across, literally across the window. And it was like I said yesterday, it was like a sweeping cloak or something. You know how, in horror movies, or like a Dracula movie or a vampire movie, they kind of swing a cloak. It was like that going up the window. And I just felt this massive, almost like bird-like, or, big kind of thing sweep up the side of my mum's house. It was not happy with me at all. And this is the pure innocence of people going, oh, I'm going to learn this process. And this is why, I'm not going to say that healing is a bad thing. I'm not going to say that Reiki is a bad thing. I'm not going to say that. But what I am saying is that Every time you allow somebody into your energy field, you are essentially giving them permission to bring in whatever they've got, whatever they're doing. So I'm really particular about this stuff. I don't let anybody, there's like a couple of people in my team that I let near my energy field. There's one lady in the UK that I trust completely with my energy field. But it's not very easy to get in to see her. So I obviously don't do that very often because I'm not in the UK that often as well. Guys, we need to take a stop check and actually realize, why are we looking for something outside of ourselves? Why are we looking to be better or have a better connection than we've got? Like, you have the ultimate connection. It's just about remembering that. It's about recognizing that. We don't need to chase all these different processes. We just don't need to do that. It's about coming back to pure divine love. Now, somebody asked a question yesterday, Lucy, how do we know who to trust with our energy? And the God's honest truth is, ladies and gents, you don't. I remember when one of my team reached out to me about 18 months ago now, and I was like, no, I am not speaking to this person, like literally. And, he innocently sent me a message giving me an answer to something that I was actually asking for. He delivered the message and I was like, nah, not today, Satan. Literally, that's how I felt. So I want you guys to know that it's not easy to know who to trust. It's not easy to know who is of the light, especially right now, because we've got these beautiful, polished, exteriors, and internally, it's just like we never know what's going on behind closed doors. And I'm not talking necessarily about people's traumas. Excuse me, sorry, my nose is going to start. You know what this means. I'm not talking about people's traumas when I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the energies that are unknowingly working through people. Now, these show up sometimes as manipulating you to make you feel that you're not good enough, that you shouldn't be seen, that you're not beautiful enough, that you're too fat, you're too ugly, all of these things. You've got the wrong color hair and, all of those things. But it's also a lot deeper than that. So there are many people out there right now that are promising things that are just never going to happen. There are many people out there that are promising that saviors are going to turn up and save you. That's not going to happen. We are our saviors. We are the ones that are shifting consciousness. We are the ones that are literally doing this. Our ancestors, the people that have gone before us, they haven't been able to do what we've achieved. Like, we have achieved more in the last 10 years than they've ever been able to do in the last 10,000 years. Be very, very, very aware of people that are making promises to you. Ask yourself, is this promise coming from a space of love? Can I trust this person? Please do not part with money. Please do not part with money unless you're getting a program or you're getting a course or you're going to an event or something like that. Please don't part with money. Again, the whole pharmaceutical thing, there's a massive surge taking place with cancer at the moment. And, I did a little Instagram live on this the other day because this channel just won't allow for that anymore. And, there are so many people out there that are saying, oh yeah, take this. Hello, they're still pharmaceutical drugs. And that's fine. If you're okay with taking pharmaceutical drugs, absolutely. But, we need to, at some point, really get into alignment and recognize there are people that are profiting off of this stuff. There are people that want us to be in a position whereby we're parting with our money for this stuff. So be very aware of the intention behind the person. And when somebody's a good person, when somebody's authentic. If you question anything about somebody, if you get a little red flag, please listen to it. Please listen to it. I cannot suggest that enough. It will save us all so much heartache as we step through the journey. Sometimes the devil appears dressed in everything that we've ever looked for to teach us a lesson, to remind us to be humble, to remind us that we can also fuck up as well. Excuse my language. Humility is an incredible process that we are going through right now. And every single one of us can heal. Every single one of us can level up. Every single one of us can be whatever it is that we are dreaming that we can be. If you can imagine it, you can have it. But again, we're being told everything is external to us. You know, my self-love club membership program, this is one of my hoodies. Everybody always asks me where I get my hoodies. So I'm just going to say that this is one of my hoodies, and you can get them by emailing support@lucydavis.com. We will get them on the website one day, I promise you. But it keeps it cheaper if we put in bulk orders. That's why, because we want them as cheap as possible for you guys. So, you know, my self-love club program is all premised about you going back to you. It's not about, oh, we're going to do this funky process and that funky process. Like, don't get me wrong, I give you tools to work with, but it's all about you. It's all about what comes up for you. It's all about, you know, how do we activate what's within you? It's not about let's go beyond this and do that. It's very important that we recognize that we are literally chasing things that are leading us down a path of us having our energy fields manipulated. And you know what, like, I'm not embarrassed to have these conversations. Many people would put their head in the sand, and the beautiful soul that reached out to me last week or the week before, like, she's been amazing about it. Like, I think at first it was a bit like a kick in the gut, but she's been amazing about it. And, you know, I'm still working with her and supporting her to making sure that everything is okay, as I would do. The issue that we've got is that people are unknowingly, and this is why I wanted to talk about this subject, people are unknowingly like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go into this haunted house and I'm just going to work with these ghosts that are in here, not realizing that one of those energies can jump in you, can start to manipulate you. Like, they're always looking for homes. Unless you know how to protect yourself properly, unless you know how to clear that, unless you have an amazing group of people, like, there's people out there opening portals and messing with things like that constantly. Like, it's not something that I would be doing. And again, it's just chasing it. It's just wanting to be like that person over there who can do it. So please, 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 ladies and gents, be very, very, very careful. We are in the period of Christmas now, of Yule. Yule is not the most, you know, positive of festivals. We've turned it into Christmas. We've turned it into be about lights and about presents and things like that. But the actual original, it's not. It's not of a beautiful light vibration. So please be very careful right now. We've got winter solstice coming up. We've got the 12/12 portal. We've got lots of different energies going on. We've got the new moon coming up, which by the way, I'm going to, if I've channeled the information this morning, I'm going to film that maybe later today and get that out soon as well. Like, there are so many things that are trying to lead us astray right now. People are being led astray because of promise of money. People are being led astray because promise of something else, you know, promise of reputation, promise of greed, promise of the partner or whatever it is. Like, we need to really, really, really take a moment and be present with ourselves and allow ourselves to really, really step up and fall into what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Now, falling into may well mean that you have to meet a couple of dark entities along the way, like I've had to do. You know, I've really learned some tough lessons. I never realized things could get that dark. Genuinely, I never realized. Because I've always been it's all been like unicorns and sparkly things for me. But in the last 3 years, like I say, I've had to meet two very, very, very dark energies. And don't get me wrong, there's been others, but these two specific, they were next level. I got led astray. I got lured in, but I'm not embarrassed enough to say, shit, you know what? I need to up my discernment. I need to really, really feel. And I knew with both of them, I could see it. I could feel the ego, but I still saw the best in both of them. Now, as you know, I will never name and shame. So please don't think that you know who I'm talking about, because you won't know who I'm talking about. It's just, I really needed to speak about this subject. I really needed you guys to recognize that sometimes we're meddling in things that we don't know how to get away with. One lady said to me, she did a process a few months ago and her life has literally fallen apart off the back of it. When I went in there, it's because she'd allowed an entity in. Well, she hadn't, but the person had allowed an entity in. Like, we got to clean up our act, guys. We've got to really, really, really get on top of this stuff, because this is the only way that we are going to remain as pure as we are. Take it as a compliment. The darkness always likes to find the brightest of lights. So if there's any compliment in all of this, please do take that. But please do look after yourself, ladies and gents. Please do buckle yourselves up. And like I say, I'm ever so sorry that this video got sidetracked yesterday, but the video is out now and I hope you guys enjoy it. Please do let me know in the comments if you want me to go any further on this topic, or if this resonates with you and you are aware of situations that have happened in and around your life of recent. Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gents. The new moon video will be out super soon. Lots of love. Speak to you then.